Good morning, Kevin. Kevin from South Carolina. Good morning. Hope you are doing well this morning, Kevin. Wait for some more people to join us this morning, and we're going to jump into the topic this morning. 27 there last night. It is currently here right now where I am. It is 31 degrees. I don't know how cold it got last night here, but it got down there. And like a dumbass, yesterday it was 54, and I turned off the AC and heater, for the studio, and I came in this morning and there was frost on everything in here. It's not good for all these electronics. I know that much. It's cold. Short and nice. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope it warms up there today, Kevin. It's supposed to get up to I think mid 50s here today, but it's just been weird. It's been up and down, like the temperature wise. I don't know how else to explain it. Well, Mel, good morning. You're off to bed. Hope you're well. Well, good morning, Mel. I hope you're doing well. As also, I loved your video the other day that you put out. It's nice to see you singing. I got a kick out of it. It was a good video. If you guys haven't checked out Mel's channel, go check out her channel. Inner Peas, good morning. Gayla, good morning. 42 degrees in Sacramento. Oh, that's cold for Sacramento. But you'll be back. You'll be back whenever you're ready, Mel. Well, we're all here waiting for you whenever you're ready, when it's on your time. So just remember that. It's therapeutic. Yeah, it's therapeutic. I was thinking about, when it comes Marty Pappin. Sorry. Good morning. All stay warm. Good morning, Marty. Welcome to the stream. But I was thinking about this the other day. For the ups and downs when it comes to YouTube and everything else, I'll never be able to explain to people just how much music means to me. And I'm sure this is for everybody out there to a certain extent, but you hear a song that comes on the radio, or maybe you put it a record on hi-fi, and you listen to it, and that song just it reminds you of a better time, a better place. Maybe you're in a better place mentally or physically or whatever, but it brings you back to that memory. And I mean, I whenever I get down, or something's going wrong with my life, I always put on music, and just sit back and relax and take a deep breath and try to put it all in context, But I'm sure there's other people out there that feel the same way. Inner Peas, welcome Kevin Branch, Short Nice, Mel Gala, Denson, and Marty. Diana Bordeaux, good morning, Will. It's freezing here in Beverly, Mass. Big snow coming Monday night into Monday, up to 16 inches. Wow. Woo. I'm glad I don't live in the Boston, Mass area, or anywhere near Beverly. I'm not sure where Beverly is right off the top of my head, but negative 16 Celsius there. So good morning. Snowy's Photography. Good morning, Snowy. Yeah, but the weather, I was saying, telling Kevin, it's been up and down here. It's like, yesterday was in the 50s and it dropped down. It had to get down into the low, mid 20s or, low 30s because it's only in the, low 30s right now here. But then it's going to most be up to 50. It's just been up and down. And we don't normally see a swing in temperatures this much. I mean, I live in what's called a semi-desert or a high plateau desert. People have different names for it. I don't know the difference between them all, but it gets cold at night. Normally even in the summertime, but still, not. We don't have this much of a wide swing of temperatures normally this time of year. Summertime, yeah, it can get up into 110, 130 right in there, and then get down into 30, 40 at night, but not like this at this time of the year. Gayla, you love to listen to music when you clean. It's one of those things that my son. It's one of the he goes to speech therapy twice a week, and one of the occupational things that they actually have him do is through music, sing along songs, and it's amazing just how much quicker he learns through music. But he loves music. It's just like me, so I'm thinking he gets that from me. His mom likes, she likes music. She loves certain types of music, but he likes all kinds of music. Everything from like Rammstein, but it's got to be in German, to older, like Hank Senior, or Wilson Pickett, and stuff like that. Queen. Mel, you can't go wrong with little Freddie Mercury. Can't go wrong with Freddie Mercury. East Coast, Beverly. 15 degrees, but it feels like 1. Yeah, what's 30, 31 or so degrees here. Wind chill factor is probably about 26, 20, 27 right in there. It's very light winds right now, but it'll cut through you. It's a legend. So this morning, we're going to talk about, I actually have a topic for today. Look at that. I can raise my hand up to here. I can't raise, my left arm, this way, or can't move, much forward, backwards, but I can lift it up to about here to my shoulder level. You just can't rotate the shoulder, at all forward or backwards. But we're going to talk about ghosts, spirits, and the supernatural as a whole. But the reason why I picked this topic today was because I was having an interesting conversation the other day with a couple other viewers who are out there. I don't know if they're going to be on the stream or not this morning, but we were talking about life, as we're here, right? We're here on this earth, and we're gone tomorrow, and all of us only get a finite amount of time, and how we should, especially with what's going on in the world with COVID and everything else. Not, we never know if we get that COVID tomorrow. It could kill any one of us. We don't know. There is no guarantee. You could be that 2.5%. That where it's fatal to you. So we started talking about that, and then the conversation then eventually led to the supernatural and how much of the world actually believes in ghosts and who believes in ghosts and spirits and stuff like that. And it was really interesting when the four of us started talking about it and looking into it. You have to understand, we're at 2021 right now. Go back just 100 years, in the world, all right? and what the population believed in then, ghosts and spirits and supernatural then, compared to now. And what has happened in the last 100 years that has changed the perspective on so much of for the world on the supernatural. And a lot of it has to do with the distribution of media, how it's been debunked or supposedly debunked by so many over the years. Good morning, Angie. Judah, good morning. Scott B, easily distracted. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the stream. But so we started looking into it. Right now, in 2020 was the last year they actually did the statistics on it, polls mainly, and a lot of it was through readership of different magazines and online polling. 45% of all Americans believe in ghosts or spirits. And they actually, when it came to Americans, it vastly different from around the world. They believe that there is a difference between a ghost and a spirit. They believe a spirit is a soul that is trapped between one dimension or another, and a ghost is someone who chooses to be here. Now, that's not the same for around the world. Vastly different. We're around, especially in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Scotland, and most of Europe, believes that the ghost and spirit are one and the same. But in America, they believe that it's they're different, and that's mainly because, again, media and their perceptions of how media, movies, television, and news articles that and so on have portrayed a ghost as is different from a spirit. Of that 45%, of Americans who say they believe in ghosts or spirits, 18% say that they have seen a ghost or interacted with a ghost. 18% for Americans. Now, look at the rest of the world. 58% of the rest of the world, not counting certain religions and parts of the world where they believe that spirits and ghosts walk among us and are here to live another life that is on a parallel existence, parallel universe. I'm not exactly sure how they define it, but 58% of the rest of the world believe in ghosts and spirits. 38% of those 58% have seen or interacted with a ghost. So a good 20% higher than America. Will, I love spirit themed anything. Oh, cool. Well, I hope you enjoy this today, Maggie, and good morning. Easily distracted, you're in that 18%. So then we started looking into, the four of us who were sitting and talking about this, we started looking into how media has changed, the perception of, and everything else, and how media has changed the perception, especially in America, when it comes to ghosts. Now, we can go back as far as there's been, certain individuals who tried to debunk spiritualism and ghosts and seances, and all of that, where people are trying to reach the spirit world. And Houdini was probably one of the most popular, where he basically said, look, he told his wife, if I come back, it's gonna this is the key words that I'm going to tell you if I ever come back. And she actually held seances for quite a few years. I think it was almost 10 years afterwards, waiting for him to to come back, and then she gave up on it. But when it comes to mass media, television, in and around the world, these are the 7 most popular shows that have ever been on television. Some of these are still current when it comes to ghosts, spirits, and the supernatural. Now, Obviously, the movie and television series Supernatural itself with the Winchesters is not on this list because they're not looking at actual real events and talking to people who've had real experiences. So Supernatural is excluded. Number one, most popular ever television series on television around the world, Ghost Hunters. US and UK, 1996 through 1999 in the UK. Ghost Hunters with Jason Hawes, 2006 to 2011 in the United States, not counting it's in syndication, so it's on Sci-Fi, Travel Channel, History Channel, and it's been on, it's in syndication, so it can end up anywhere at this point. Next, number two most popular is Fact or Fake, 2010 to 2013. Number three, Extreme Ghost Stories, 2006 to 2008, not including the specials that ran in the UK. And when I say UK, it's wherever the British broadcasting system is broadcasting. So they may be broadcasting it, on BBC 1, 2, or 3 or whatever, and other channels may pick it up, like Paranormal Channel, Living TV, Travel Channel, but they may be picking it up but BBC is the one broadcasting it to them or sharing it to them. But there have been other specials as well. All right, number four is The Dead Files on the Travel Channel, 2011 to current. It's still running. Number five is Ghost Nation, 2019 to current, also on the Travel Channel. You'll see a trend here, especially with Channel and Sci-Fi Channel. It's like one carries it. If they're not airing it, the other one will carry it because they work in really close proximity and location-wise from where they actually broadcast and their studios are. But they also share a lot of the same production company and distribution companies. Next one, Ghost Nation. If I didn't already say it, Ghost Nation, 2019 to current. Number six is Haunted Towns, 2017 to current. That one's on Destination America channel. They are in a standalone. They do not share their broadcasting with anyone else. And number seven, Most Haunted, 2002 to 2010. Then they had a rebirth of 2013 to current. And that airs on the Paranormal Channel in the UK, Travel Channel in the United States, Living TV in the United States, and BBC in the UK. I see you. Good morning. Julie Johnson, good morning. Light Feather. Oh, Angie, my shoulder's getting better. This is going to take time. You can't see this. I have this brace that runs on there. It goes around the shoulder and then around my back, and so I can't move my arm up or down. It's kind of like I can move from the elbow this way, but I can't move the actual shoulder itself. I'm supposed to wear this at night and when I do any kind of activities, and in case you didn't know, I talk with my hands a lot, and it really sucks because I try to move my arm and I can't, my left arm, and I can't do it. That'd be this one. That'd be my left. May look like a right on your side, on your end. Light Feather, you're a believer. You're in that percentage. Most Haunted is rubbish. They came to my town and charged $85 for a ticket. Wow. Sorry to hear that. So some more interesting statistics on ghosts and supernatural and spirits. Annual conventions. Now, we narrowed it down by conventions that had less than 1,000 attendees. Annual conventions worldwide, 38. 38 annual conventions around the world with at least 1,000 attendees every year. Book sales. And this is ghost stories, and murder mysteries where there's a ghost in it, somewhere where a ghost interacts within the actual story itself. 3.8 million books, digital and print copy books in that worldwide every year. 3.8 million. I never thought it'd be that high. Number of people who attend annual conventions worldwide for ghosts, spirits, and supernatural, 2.7 million in 2019 alone. No statistics for 2020, but 2019, which is probably a good average, because 2020, obviously, we know COVID probably destroyed or shut down, and most of those conventions didn't happen. Ranking. Where do supernatural, spirit, and supernatural conventions rank when it comes to largest draw for annual conventions? Number 4. Number 4, not even number 7 or 8 or 9. Number 4, in the number of total draws, people who go to these conventions. Number 1 on the list for conventions that and stuff that draws the most people: traveling, camping, and boating expos. Number 1. Number 2, sports conventions and collecting sports memorabilia collection. They put it all together as number 2. Number 3, sci-fi. Science fiction is number 3. Number 4, obviously, then is ghost, spiritual, and supernatural conventions. I need to do a ghost day. I see you. Good morning, Carrie. Welcome to the stream. Michael Jones, my 11-year-old dog, passed away a few years ago. Not long after I saw him, a few seconds in my living room. It was odd, and it took the day to absorb what I saw. Michael Jones, you might want to stick close to the speaker and listen to the next part of this. Next part of it, I'm going to read off a short list of celebrities who have seen ghosts or interacted with ghosts. Obviously, if they've seen them, they interacted with them. Seen it or they interacted also. Okay, these are celebrities that have interacted or seen ghosts. Janis Joplin, the musician. Christina Stewart, the actress. Pete Townsend. Tommy Chung. Tommy Chung probably was high as hell when he saw his ghost, but we don't know that for sure. Laura Linney. David Beckham, the soccer player. Emma Stone, the actress. Helena Bonham Carter. Miley Cyrus. Lily Collins. Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. Kendall Jenner. Former U.S. President Ronald Reagan. Jack Black, the comedian actor. Rush Limbaugh, the talk show host and pundit, I guess what you'd call him. Next one, Eddie Vedder, the musician. Joe Flacco, quarterback in the NFL. Ron White, the comedian. Joe DiMaggio, the baseball player. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dale Earnhardt Sr., both of them. Willie Mays, the baseball player, Hall of Famer. Kate Hudson. Pete Rose of the Major League Baseball. Jessica Alba. Elvis Presley. Val Kilmer. Robert Palmer. Selena Gomez. That's just a short list of celebrities who said that they have either seen a ghost or interacted with a ghost. The following are people who said that they have seen a ghost and the circumstances behind it. Emma Stone, Miley Cyrus, Joe DiMaggio, Kristen Stewart all said that they seen either a loved one or a pet who had passed. Helena Bonham Carter, Eddie Vedder, Kate Hudson, and Jessica Alba all said that they have interacted with a ghost, but it was a ghost that was either in a theater or a ghost that was well known to have interacted with a place where they were filming. My dad came to me 15 months after he passed, only his voice, but he said something to me that only he would know. That's cool, Gayla. I hope it was something that that made you feel better. Because a lot of these celebrities, they spoke of if they saw a person, a loved one who had passed beforehand, that they were uplifted by the experience. It was a positive experience. None of these artists, musicians, actors, or athletes spoke of a ghost that or an experience that was in a negative way, except for Jessica Alba, who said that she was initially startled and scared by the experience and didn't want to believe what she was actually experiencing. But most of them were pretty uplifted. Have you looked up Jinn? I don't. I may have short nights, but I'm drawing a blank on it right now. Is that Indian? No, haven't seen, but would probably pee myself at the state of some of these ham actors. Good morning, Pink Camo. Anna Brown, good morning. Mandy Hall, good morning. If I didn't say hello to you earlier. Tessie Cooper, I bet you can lift your beer all right. Well, Tessie, I'm right-handed, so I probably can because I can pick up my tumbler of coffee. But just for the sake of the conversation, since you mentioned it, I haven't had even a single beer since the last Friday. So I don't know, because the medication that I'm on, not a good idea to mix a pain medication with alcohol. Yesterday, when I was having a nap, I was suddenly awoken when a warm breath was blowing on me. I looked around. Wow. Diana, you heard your mom say you heard your mother say your name. I swear I can English. Mr. Frosty, good morning. Here it's pretty cold. You're going to get some snow in your area. My dad came to me in a dream shortly after he passed, but he put his hands on my shoulder, reassured me that he's with me. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool, Connie. The only experience I ever had was I saw a man in my living room that wasn't there, sitting in a chair that wasn't there. And it's just like, you see something like that, and it wasn't like it wasn't like a 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, and he was gone. It was like I stopped, I put the bucket full of stuff down, and I looked, and I'm like, ooh, what the hell? But it's the only experience I've ever had that I can remember. I mean, maybe I've had other experiences that I don't remember. All right, last part of this. So of the people who were polled and asked in 2017, 2018, that was last year that they actually did an additional poll, and they asked people if they believe in spirits, and ghosts, how many of them would like to be experienced or be comforted by a loved one coming to visit them after they've passed? And of those, 2,300,015 said that they would love to see a loved one after they've passed and know that they are doing all right. That is a good 98% of the people who were polled said that they would love to have someone, a loved one, come to them and tell them that they are okay after they've passed. So that is the last of the statistics on it. Has anyone seen an orb? Scott B, good morning. Never seen an orb. Half Rudder, good morning. My niece has dreams with my dad. He passed from heart disease, but in his dreams he looks like he's in his 30s, 30-year-old and healthy. That's cool. Seen him in photos. Every once in a while I get somebody who points out, they'll see one in a video of mine. I don't see it until after I've watched them on rewind, and it's like, that's bizarre. One video in particular I did, it was probably about a year ago or so. I did outside, and I was sitting at the what would you call it, outdoor dining, seating area. It's not a picnic table. I'm drawing a blank on what they call it. Patio furniture. It's not patio furniture though, so that wouldn't be descriptive of it. But anyways, I'm sitting outside, and somebody pointed out that they saw an orb in the video, and you can actually see the orb float by and then go like this, and then instead of going continuing in a downward pattern, it just kind of like hovers and stops in one spot and then is gone. I didn't see it at all, and it was like just over my shoulder, and you could tell the contrast because of the house. My house is like a dark gray color, and you could see it sitting there, and then float back and forth, and then almost stop, and then upward motion. It just took off. But I definitely see that in the video when in hindsight, when I went back and looked at it, when they pointed out and gave me the timestamp when it happened. But I never saw it. I mean, I edited the video, I watched the video, and I never saw it. But I did, afterwards. But I was like, was that in the video? Why wouldn't I have noticed it? And it wasn't like this tiny little thing. It was a good size, like, glowing, light almost, hovering over my shoulder. About the size that, if I would say a little bit bigger than a golf ball, but definitely smaller than a tennis ball, size of orb. I didn't see it. And it was kind of freaky to actually look back at it. And I was like, I don't know what it was or how it got there. Saw a ghost of an old lady climbing our stairs when I was a little girl. I was scared. You weren't scared. You were just confused. I don't know. And I when I think about, this, I want to believe, I want to think that there is, a life after this, because I mean, what's wrong with thinking that there's a life after this, because, if for a lot of people, it gets into, religious beliefs, if they believe in the supernatural or, ghosts, spirits or whatever, at least from the people that I've talked to, my experience has been that if they are, if they're Christian, let's just say that, and maybe they're devout Christian, they believe that, if you do good in this world, you, after you die, your soul and everything, transcends to heaven. And you're there, for eternity, and without pain or any suffering that you may have had in this life. And then there are, people I've met and talked to who have different religious beliefs, where they believe that they are, after they're done with this shell, this body, that they are reincarnated. And depending upon how you treat people in this world, is, will directly affect you and how you're going to be reincarnated, and at what level of reincarnation you might come back as. I think I tend to want to believe a little bit of that. I want to believe that, maybe we are reincarnated, maybe we do come back, and I'm gonna hedge my bets, and I'm just gonna be a good person anyways. So just in case there is reincarnation, I want to come back as something besides a toad, or a gnat. So I'm just going to be a good person regardless. So, that way I can come back as maybe a cat, or, I'd be okay with being a cat. I just don't want to be a cat that nobody cares about. Colleen Ellis. The only time I heard evil spirits and was scared was almost 18 years ago. If my daughter's baby toys started playing and stopped working almost a month before, wow, that would that scare me. I know people who've had things like that happen to them, where they've, maybe a toy just starts up, and then stops, and then it won't work again. I see you. I worked with the elder for 25 years. I've seen it enough to know there's life after death. Seen a few spirits. I've never worked in elder care. My daughter currently works in end of life care and hospice care, but she works in a private setting, so it's not with hospice itself. These are individuals who can afford their own private end of life care. So hospice, in some aspects, they come in to their own private homes and settings of where they are. But that's what my daughter does, and she's a firm believer that and like you said, she's seen more than enough in the 5 years that she's been in that, the industry, working. But she's slowly getting out of it. She's working on getting her RN degree, so she wants to go into emergency medical, working in ER. My bro just died in November. Wish I could see him or hear his voice. I'm sorry, Pink Camo, but yeah, what I would give to hear my dad's voice just one more time. And that's why I'm so torn between it all. It's like, I want to believe that there's something else after this, but it's hard, and after all these years, when I close my eyes, I can still picture my father, to a great extent, but I can't remember his laugh. I can't remember his voice. And unfortunately, we don't have any recordings, to go back. I mean, he used to shoot 8mm, camera things, but he was always a camera operator. He was never, we never got him on the other side of those 8mm films. Well, occasionally he's fishing, but he doesn't say anything. Mari H, heaven is there in Rio. Yeah. Never lose hope. Good morning. Good morning to you, both of you. Sorry if I missed you before. Kristalina. We nursed my dad and step by. We Miss Wee Lassie. Good morning. Sorry, this thing just jumped there. We nursed my dad and my stepdad in our home. God bless, and prayers for him. Prayers coming. So thank you for the super chat, Half Rudder. I really appreciate that. Interesting topic. I don't believe in life after death, so have fun now. Well, thank you, Half Rudder. It's okay. You don't have to believe in it, and nobody has to. I'm not here to try to convince anybody, but I find it very interesting that there's a large portion of the world out there that wants to believe or does believe in it, and that it's something that comforts people. To believe that there is something out there after this life, because we don't want to believe that we just die and that's it, and then we're in the ground and we rot away, and that there's nothing else after that. We want to believe that there's something else after this. Heaven, hell, something. Reincarnation. We want to believe that there's something. Especially, we want to believe that there is a hell, a purgatory, something for all those, who do evil upon this earth, in this existence. So, but again, nobody has to believe. You certainly don't either, sweetheart. What do you see? Hi, and good morning. Good morning, Cece. Sorry, Crystalina Bacteria. That chat is keeping my mind off stuff. Oh, that's good. We all need a break, don't we? Just relax, have a cup of coffee or tea, and just kick back, put your feet up. Kev Backwood. Alert. Paranormal and supernatural are very real. Commenting from Birmingham, Alabama. Shout out to 411 now. Well, thank you, Kev Backwoods, sorry, plural. Welcome to the stream, Kev. Connie Kelly, you would like to come back in the 1950s? Well, it was a simpler time in the 1950s as opposed to today. I don't, but there's also, some not so positive things, about the 1950s too. Good morning, Shay Shay. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Dan Quillen, I want to see a medium to see if I can believe in what she says and talk to your mom. Would that be nice? I don't know about mediums and people who say that they can speak to the other side, transcend, or have that ability. I don't know about if that's real. I don't know. I mean, I would love to be able to talk to my dad again, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. Maybe after I'm done with this life, maybe I'll get to meet him again, and he'll look at me and say, that, hey, look, you're a dumbass. I did all these things and tried to tell you along the way, that I was here, but you just didn't listen. So I don't know. You don't think you need a medium to talk to your loved ones, never lose hope? I don't. I I just wish that my father was here to see how I turned out in this, in life, and to meet my son. Um, I don't know. I mean, I was only 10 when my father passed away, so it's been an awfully long time. But if there is an afterlife out there, and he is out there, and he can, he knows of the existence of his grandson. I mean, it'd be great, and I'm sure he'd be proud of how I'm doing. It's not easy. God knows I have my faults, but I'm sure he'd be proud. Demons are real, and so is heaven and hell. But yes, can't force others to believe. No. 1950s and 60s was like heaven, huh, Gayla? When you look at the United States as a whole, and you look at how life moves, and the pace of life, especially West Coast, Midwest, East Coast. Back home where I'm from in Wisconsin, and in Minnesota for a good portion parts of those states, life moves at a completely different pace. Everybody has We have the same priorities, we have the same technology and everything else, but when it comes to communities and everything else, it moves at a different pace because not everybody is out to, I don't want to say they're not out to be successful. They're out to be successful. Everybody's out to, to get to the next point, to take care of themselves and their families. It's more community based, at least compared to all the places I've lived on the West Coast. I'm comparing it to that, and the places I've lived on the East Coast. It is a completely different way of life there. It ain't like the 1950s and 60s, but it's more community based. Neighbor looking out for neighbor. And people getting by and working, to survive. Now, I'm sure, in bigger cities, it's obviously different, but, I'm not talking about small towns of less than, 1,000 people either. They're what, 15,000, in my hometown. But, in the Twin Cities is right there. But, Twin Cities, maybe there's areas that are out there, the fast pace, click, 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 world moves by. But for the most part, it just seems different. It feels different. You think they're snowy photography doesn't, you don't believe that mediums are real. You think that they're scammers. Hmm. I don't know what to think of them. I mean, if I went to a medium, or a psychic or something like that, or tarot card reader or whatever, I mean, some people do it all. But if I went to one of them, and I think it's more suggestive than anything else, but I'm sure that there are people out there, and I've watched some YouTube channels where um, people have done readings on people, and it's interesting. It's interesting to watch, and I think you have to take it from the perspective of somebody has to be impressionable. First off, they have to want to believe. They want to have desire to want to believe, and what can happen. I'm not saying it's not real. Maybe there are real, psychics and mediums out there. I don't know. I've never met one, but from what I've seen on YouTube and I've seen in person, but I've never gone to a psychic or a medium myself. But because I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, I guess. I want to believe they're real. I want to believe there's somebody out there. I'm not going to tune into John Edwards, show or something like that on television and watch him do cold, readings of the audience members and watch Sylvia Brown sit on a panel someplace and say, I feel over here the name of Samantha, or something that starts with an S. That's cold. You're just reading, the audience, and looking for an expressions, and then with the third one from the end right there, yeah. Yeah, that's just an old parlor trick that that's been known for years. But again, I'm sure that there really are real mediums and psychics, and clairvoyants out there. I've never seen one. I've never met one, but I want to believe that they're real, that there's real ones out there. I want somebody to come to me and say, I see dead people, and really, say they and tell me, that they, and convince me that they really do see them. I'm still here. Shay, I am doing better. I messed up my shoulder pretty good, but I'm still here. But thank you. I don't really believe, but if they come up with something that I know they wouldn't know, it would be very interesting. They would, if they could tell, if I went to a psychic and a psychic could tell me what my father's real middle name is, I'd be floored, because what was on his driver's license and what's on his death certificate wasn't his real middle name. I have no doubt, Pink Camel, that my father would be proud of me, for who I've become. But at the same time, I think he'd say, you got a long ways left to go. This journey is not over with yet. Now, if I have anything to say with it, Miss Wee Lassie, I would be able to keep a straight face if a medium tried to tell me things. Don't believe in any of these folks. It would be hard for me too, because I'm a skeptic first off. I that's just who I am, and in the mindset that I come from. I really dive into the psychology behind what makes people act and do the things that they do. Will, when you dreamt to were sitting on a porch looking out the door to the street, it was your future ghost? Really? Gwen Coppet, where in Wisconsin where in Wisconsin are you? Southern, eastern, or western? Gwen, I don't live in Wisconsin anymore. I live out on the West Coast. I live in Washington State. I was born and raised in Prescott, Wisconsin, just over the border from the Twin Cities. I have family all up and down from Wisconsin and Minnesota. I have so many family members back there. The majority of my family is either in and around the Twin Cities area, all the way up to International Falls, Minnesota, Brainerd, St. Cloud, Little Falls, Bemidji, and then going down in and around the Twin Cities areas, over in Wisconsin, from Prescott up to Green Bay, Milwaukee, all up along the peninsula by the Great Lakes. They're everywhere. That's where most of my family is. Out west here, I have a relative in Colorado, one that lives here locally in one town over, a sister. I have a couple of nephews that live in California, but majority are all back east. Oh, can't forget, I have an uncle who lives in Arizona. I always forget about him. He's kind of like the black sheep of the family. He lives in Yuma, Arizona. Mike Stevens, you believe in Sarah saving spirits? I'm not familiar with that, Mike Stevens. I lived in northern Wisconsin, Rhinelander, very cold, frozen winters, sweaty Betty summers. I'm also on the West Coast, also Central Valley. Normally, every summer, I go back there. I travel the United States in the month of June, watching minor league baseball games. Obviously, I didn't do it in 2020. 2020 kind of threw a wrench in everything for me. So I didn't get to go, well, they canceled all of minor league baseball, the entire season. So obviously I didn't get to do that. And because of COVID restrictions and everything else, and then, I got COVID and that didn't help. So I didn't get to go back east at all. But I'm hoping to do it this year, 2021, in June, go back again. I'll jump in my stupid little car that gets like 50 miles to the gallon. It's uncomfortable to ride in, but it's been the most reliable car I've ever owned. It's now 2020, part 2, the Biden version. Diana Brown, good morning. Sorry if I missed you earlier. Me too. I still have my youngest daughter back there. Horrid woman. Oh, I'm sorry, I see you. Yeah, well, my mother's still alive. She lives a town over. Every other weekend, she's at my house. Don't get along with her. I never will. Somehow, though, my family keeps on telling me I have to find a way to forgive her. It's hard. It's extremely hard. Gloria, you grew up in a very haunted house. We all experienced it. Terrible place. Wow. My wife and speaking of haunted houses, my wife and my daughter and my mother-in-law want to go to Scotland to tour and stay in. You can actually stay in the haunted castles. They have a haunted castle tour there. In places, you can also stay in some of the haunted castles. Snowy photography, so you don't get along with your mom very well either. I guess so. Life feather. I'm in a better place today because I found a way to get to, this position, in life where I can I can at least be in the same room with her and tolerate her to some extent. But the worst part is she's a head trauma survivor, and she's got the mental capacity, on good days of a 12-year-old. So she'll never be able to make amends or even comprehend what she did, to me and my siblings growing up. So, the only one that's holding on to the grudge now is me. I'm sure my sisters do to some extent, but they just don't want to talk about it. Come to Scotland, Will. Yeah. Angie, maybe someday. Aggie. Why did I say Angie? Aggie. Sorry. I'm really sorry about that if I said that more than once. Maybe someday. I mean, I want to go back to Ireland to visit my family. That'd be nice. Visit my family in the UK as well, but snowy photographies or your brother, just different people. Anna Brown, yeah, I'll get there eventually. Been a long road to get to this point. What an incredible son you are, Mike Stevens. What did Mike Stevens say? Sell my soul to hug my mom again. It is. Sometimes it is beyond our control, snowy photography. But, well, not much about me. Make the best of the life that I have now, and make sure that I don't make the same mistakes that she made. And some of them were out of her control, and a lot of them were not. A lot of the mistakes that she made were definitely, hers. For now, they'll regret sleeping in a haunted place. Please have them do a protection over themselves first. They don't want entity attaching to them. I'll let them know. Right now, I mean, everything's kind of been put on hold and back order. So my daughter is supposed to be in Japan right now on vacation, but they canceled the flights. Well, first they wouldn't let her into the country because she didn't have the COVID shot. So she got the first COVID shot, and then they said, well, they may let you in. And she's like, what? I'm going to fly all the way to Japan and then find out that they're going to tell me to get back on a flight and go back home. So then Air Canada canceled the flights altogether going to Japan. So then they gave her a travel voucher. She filed a dispute with the credit card company because they weren't going to give her back her hotel, the money she had paid for the motels. But then they finally decided, I guess, since you can't get into the country, it's not really your fault. So they did finally refund her money for the hotels. So she's got 1 year to use her travel voucher to, go back to, to try to go to Japan. Not sure why she wants to go there. It's just someplace she wants to go. And she's doing it by herself. She wants to travel there by herself. I'm like, okay. So that trip's got to happen before they take another vacation outside of the United States to go someplace. And then there's my son. So if he goes someplace, he'll most likely go with my wife and my mother-in-law and my daughter. So it'll be the four of them. Because I wouldn't take him on my trip with me. I mean, it'd be nice, to take him back home. And so my sister's. I mean, he's 4 years old. My sister back home, she still hasn't met my son in the 4 years, and trying to convince my wife that, traveling in the United States and, watching minor league baseball games and eating hot dogs and, and drinking, lukewarm soda is fun. That's a hard stretch, of a sell for her. But that's what I enjoy doing. Unless by luck you can make it there this summer, I won't be traveling anywhere because of cover. Bossy Toes, good morning. Welcome to the stream. I really wonder, I mean, my wife doesn't have, I wouldn't call her faithful, as in faithful as in believing in faith, not faithful. She's faithful to me and to her family, but she's not religious. She doesn't, I don't really know how to describe her. It's not that she doesn't believe in it. It's that she is skeptical of faith in itself. She has a very analytical mind, and she believes in science, and that's always going to be in the forefront for her, that she believes in that, what can be proven to her, and she can actually hold in her hand and what she can see with her own eyes. That's just her. And I tell her, look, you want proof? Here's the Bible, but that's her. But I don't know. She seems to get along pretty good, without believing or having something to believe in. Kim, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well this morning. I'm going to write it down, Mike. Sarah Saving Spirits. Sarah Saving Spirits. I will look into it. Thank you for the suggestion, Mike. I cried for my mother after a crippling car accident in the hospital. I had a vision of my mom. She stood against the wall smiling at me. She was so beautiful. Linda, good morning. McNamara? I think that's what it is. McNamara. Yeah. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that, but you cried for your mother after her crippling car accident. Well, I hope she wasn't in too much pain afterwards. I didn't believe in heaven until my mom actually came to me in a restaurant in the form of a woman who looked like her. And this woman said things to me only she would say. Wow. That's amazing, Mike. I was sent to a church in my younger life, and the kids were so mean on how I dressed. I never went back, and I believe I don't have to go to believe in God. That's true. Anna, I'm sorry that happened to you, though. Other kids can be cruel, very cruel. Kim, it is cold in Georgia. I was forced to go to church when I was younger. It wasn't something that I looked forward to. I was just always so bored. Even in Sunday school, I was just like, don't want to be here. I want to be out playing with my friends. What I didn't realize is just because my friends didn't go to the same church as me didn't mean that they were doing the same thing at their church. They just went to a different church. I just thought that they're all out playing and having fun. Ghosts are a playback. Spirits are the real time. That's an interesting way to look at it. Learn to meditate. Life Feather. At 4, I meditate. She would be my sister's husband's brother. So brother-in-law taught I wouldn't call him a guru, but he's a spiritual guidance individual, I guess. He teaches Aikido, and I can't remember the other one. There's 2 different martial arts that he teaches, but part of that is becoming calm and settling of oneself, so you can be ready for the actual martial arts itself. And part of that was meditation. I still do it to this day. It's great just to sit and relax. It's so relaxing. Church services used to give me severe anxiety. Gloria, I'm sorry. You had to go to the catechism? Oh. My mom believed in learning all religions or having understanding of them. We're all one. If you guys hear popping noises in the background, it's because of it's duck season here. That's shotguns. No one's shooting up my house. It's just I live in a kind of a valley area, and it echoes it like amplified in this direction. It's probably about 2 miles, 3 miles away on the opposite side of the river. But that's what that popping noise is if you hear it. You wish you could meditate? I've tried so many times, but my mind just never stops. It's it takes practice, would be the best way to put it. Just sit down, even and close your your eyes, and just sit and just concentrate on your breathing. Just let everything go. You can think of one thing, focus on something, picture a strawberry or something small, and with your eyes closed, and just try to concentrate on every little aspect of that strawberry. And then breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, through your nose and out. Well, you're welcome, Linda. For skeet shooting, Gala, yeah, I love skeet shooting. I can't wait for our range to open back up. Unfortunately, our gun range here where we have skeet shooting, it's been closed because of COVID. Most of the range officers and people who volunteer as range officers at our it's a club. You have to be a member, but they have certain days where they allow non-members in for skeet shooting. But the skeet shooting, most of the range officers are in their 70s, so they're retirees already. And when COVID hit, they locked that place up like there's no tomorrow. And that's the only place that there is to really do skeet shooting around here. Love it myself. I think I have I have 4 boxes of pigeons over there, just outside the door here. It might be 3.5 boxes, but I have my own thrower, just no place to actually go to actually do skeet. So you can't just go out into the middle of nowhere here and and shoot. Although people do it, it's not legal, but people do it. That would make me hungry. I missed something there. Yeah. Light feathers right. Be mindful of your breath. I mean, and even if you just sit down, take 5 minutes of your day and just sit down and relax. Do nothing. Just close your mind and just let everything go. It's so beneficial. And you can do it anywhere. Turn off everything. Leave your phone in another room. Everything. No electronic devices. Nothing at all. I mean, if you've got like one of those wave, Bose machines that plays, like soothing, low tone music, that can help. But otherwise, turn everything off. Turn the lights off, and just sit down and just close your eyes and relax. You'd be surprised after a while just how much better you'll feel. Especially if you have a lot of stress in your life, and how well it'll help you deal with stress. Skeet shooting is fun. Vixen, yeah, I enjoy the hell out of it. But we have it's a dual place. So there's skeet shooting at one place, and then a quarter of a mile down the road there's a regular gun range, and then there's a 22. So there's. I'll do it this way. There's skeet shooting here, and then down the road, so it's like a hill, and down the road, and it goes around. Then there's a regular gun range, and then a 22 plinking range. And then they also have a competition range that is next to that for competition shooters. But they're not always open at the same time. When the skeet range is open, the competition range is closed, but the shooting range is open. But and the plinking range is open, so they're never open at the same time. So there's never any worry about anybody crossfire or anything like that. But it's done in a safe manner. Will, would you go on a ghost hunt? Bossy Toes? Sure, I would. I mean, I'll admit right now, I have every single box set of the Ghost Hunters with Jason Hawes, in the house. I have them all. But then again, I also have the Weather Channel's box set of tornadoes and horrific storms and weather events. I've got all of those as well. But yeah, I mean, I would love to go on something like that, Ghost Hunters, or something, similar to that. You went to Waverly Mansion, Aggie. You went to Waverly Mansion. I mean, Anna Brown. Sorry, Anna Brown went to. Did you go to Waverly Mansion? Is that what you're talking about? I'm taking mental notes as we speak. I will try again because I would love to. Oh wow, that would be freaky to go there though. I don't know about that. I mean, there's certain places like we don't have any around here. We don't have any old closed down sanitariums or anything like that. The about 4 miles from here, there is the remains of what used to be the concentration camp for the Japanese Americans during the war. That, I mean, all the buildings are gone, but you can go out there and you can see the concrete slabs where the concentration camp used to be. I I hear that there are reports that people still see people walking along the irrigation canal there, because the irrigation canal was there well before the concentration camp was, but people still see ghostly images, and people walking, where the concentration camp grounds used to be. Inner peace, you can't retire for a while. I don't think I'm ever going to retire. The way I'm going at this. It is a sad feeling in Waverly. Wow. I don't know. Carolina girl, good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to the stream, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well today. A lot of spirit roads. Oh, Anna Brownie, you're retiring in 4 weeks. Well, congratulations, Anna. I hope you find something to keep active. Keep your mind active. That's the one thing. I see so many people, that retire, and then they're like, I'm just going to relax, and they just let everything go. Find something to keep your mind active. If you don't have to physically be active, keep your mind active. I would like to check out Alcatraz. All the times that I've been to the San Francisco Bay Area, I've never been there. I kid me not. I've been there so many times. I've never been to Alcatraz. I've been up and down, the piers and everywhere, all over San Francisco. I've seen, the clinics, that Manson used to recruit his followers out of. I've been to Manson's ghost ranch. Well, they call it a ghost ranch now, but where his ranch was, I've been to everywhere down and around that area in California. Never been to Alcatraz. I don't know why. It just never came up on my list of things that we were going to do. Go get a beer. Let's get hammered. Mr. Frosty, I can't. I'm on enough pain medication right now. A beer would probably put me over the top. But thanks, though. You enjoy your beer. To you, Mr. Frosty. Go Boston. I see you. Just keep your mind active is easy. Just play computer games, workout for the brain. It's a good point. I see you. See, I noticed you dropped the other half of your name. I'll probably never, ever get it right. Kazap or Cazp. Kazp. Yeah, see. It's a good thing you dropped it and changed it to ICU, because I'll probably never get it right. And I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just in my mind, for some reason, every time I saw that, I always wanted to say Kazap. I know. I'm an idiot. But I'm going to look for a YouTube video inside Alcatraz. Sounds interesting. Oh yeah. If you Carolina girl, you should also look up the Birdman of Alcatraz. There are some really good books out there about the Birdman of Alcatraz, and he used to really keep birds. They were little finches, I believe. I believe they were finches. I get creepy feeling just seeing Stefan Ranch on TV. Well, it's not that I can't pronounce it, but for some reason my brain just, doesn't allow me to. I don't know what it is. I see it, and I know how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but for some reason my brain just says, no, Kazap. I'm like, that's not what it is. I know it's wrong. Chatterboxes. Good morning, sweetheart. I was wondering what happened. I've been, I checked your channel again yesterday. No content. What's going on? I hope you are doing well. Alcatraz is a fascinating place. Portugal used to have the most of its prisoners out at sea. Wow. I didn't know that. Did not know that about Portugal. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I hope you get better soon, sweetheart. Do you believe and watch Skinwalker Ranch? There's a long history. Skinwalker, I've heard of Skinwalker Ranch. I've heard of it. I don't believe I've ever watched anything on it. Sorry. A lot of us have squirrel moments with words. Yeah, I definitely do. The one that drives my wife absolutely freaking nuts. And now it's more of a joke at this point with us, but I cannot, for the life of me, every time I see the word Velcro, for some reason that's what comes out of my mouth. And I know how it's supposed to be pronounced, but I'm not kidding. It's just like Velcro. I'm like, what? And then it's like I have that moment. It's like, did you just say that? But that's just me, my crazy brain. Interesting. Is a little suspect. The Skinwalker Ranch. Have you stumbled across the true crime rocket science yet? True crime rocket science. No, Mr. Frosty, is that a channel on YouTube? I have not. I'm not down with the Skinwalker Ranch. Seems like a nothing burger. Light Feather, you have so many squirrel moments. Mr. Frosty, yes. I just stumbled across 10 to life. Huh. Oh, is he back with a different name now? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's a good channel. The guy, cocky, but he's smart. Is it AD? I told everybody before I wouldn't be surprised if he came back, again. He's going to keep on coming back They can shut him down a million times. He's going to keep on coming back. And I'm not saying that in a negative way towards any of his fans out there. You know, believe what you want to believe. Listen to whoever you want to listen to. That's not for me to judge. I've just said, that just because they shut him down doesn't mean that he was going to go away. No, they're different channels. Good at waffling. Yeah. Yeah. Do you love my animal? True crime and the beyond. He hates AD. Okay, I'm bad. I'm confusing two channels. Yeah, well, but I again, even if it's not him, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he comes back and he has a different channel or underneath somebody else's channel. We're Terry Furman. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Good morning. Hi, Linda. I'm doing great, sweetheart. I'm slowly getting better. My shoulder is it's feeling better than it was, I'd say, a week ago. I'm able to get a little bit more sleep at night, but I'm getting there. What did he do this time? LOL. Chatterbox. I'm not exactly sure what he did to get kicked off of YouTube. So I can't really speak on that. Sorry, sweetheart. AD is back on last night, but he was totally different. I don't know. I don't want to get into all of it. I really don't. You have to understand it from my perspective. I've made mistakes. I've offered to help people, obviously, who didn't want the help. And I don't like this channel's better than that channel, or this person is more truthful than you, or this person is less, or I hear it every day. If you had to sit on my side of the computer and read the comment section day in and day out, you'd understand exactly why it takes me so long to actually reply back to comments. A lot of times, it beats you the hell down because there's just so much hate out there, and I don't like these I don't like to get into these channel fights. One channel's better than another. Everybody has their place, and they have their views. I mean, I certainly won't agree with a lot of what he does, and a lot of things that he has done that's pulled the wool over people's eyes. But that's him. I mean, I'm sure he has his negative views about what I've done and how I've done it. But I'm not going out of my way, to start a fight with him or anybody else. I just want to have peace. I want to do what I do. Stay in my own lane, I guess, whatever you want to call it. I'm happy with where I am. Yep. And you're also free to support whoever you want. That's the great thing about YouTube. If you don't like it, you can turn it off. Just hit that YouTube, icon at the top, and it'll bring you right back to the homepage. But I will freely admit that his minions have certainly been a serious thorn in my ass since the Christopher Watts thing started over 2 years ago. They have been a serious thorn in my ass, and they want to be, and they have done everything that they could at his directive or not, whichever. I don't care. And they've done enough to try to push me away from this platform altogether, and they would like nothing more than to see me, walk away. It's not going to happen. I'm never going to give in to somebody else, and I don't base my value on anything that anybody else has to say about me. You don't like my content? Great. You don't like my content? Oh well. I'm not going to go out and change, who I am or how I feel about myself. And likewise for the channels that I don't do anything to try to hurt them or destroy them as individuals. Just be yourself. For now, going nowhere. You are stuck. We love you. Thank you, Linda. Hi, Reichard. Olivia's puppies. Good morning, both of you. Welcome to the stream. Kimberly Marino. Good morning. Sorry, I missed you there. Sorry. I gotta read her comment. Kimberly. Well, hello everyone. I just got here. You're talking about AD he is a terrible excuse for humankind, but totally respect anyone who feels differently. That's true. Thank you, Kimberly. You have to watch this on Rewind, Kimberly. So the first part of the stream today, we went over supernatural, ghosts, spirits, and the paranormal and supernatural. I guess all of it together. I went through some really interesting statistics about it all, and then I went into celebrities who believe that they've had interactions, and those who believe. It's a small list. I think there's only like 20 names on the list total. I could have found a whole lot more. It wasn't even hard to find those 20. But because publicly, I just searched a couple different publishers and agents' sites, for information. Is put their names in. Sure enough, the thing is that they want to talk about him. He thrives on the attention. You're smart to ignore him and his minions. Kimberly, I ignore a lot of people who they may be here 1 minute and then they're gone the next. They might jump into a stream or the comment section. They might say something, I mean, it's obviously, meant to discourage me from reporting on or talking about certain topics or cases. But I just let it go. I never will understand the logic behind that, though. I really have tried, and having conversations with my wife about it, and diving into the psychology behind it all. Why some people feel they need to have an overwhelming allegiance to one person over another. I mean, the people that support this channel or his channel, they don't know each other. Maybe they're people who watch his channel and watch my channel. I don't know. And, if they enjoy his content, great. Hold on. I got to move the stupid strap sliding up my back. Ow. But just everybody, and just get along. Just understand that everybody has a different view and a different opinion. Hard Rockin' Mama, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Celebrity Ghost Stories, Starfire 3, good morning. The new boss Biden is taking change the 230 section disclaimer YouTube uses. I have no idea what that is. I don't have a clue. I highly doubt that Biden is doing anything. to change anything that YouTube is using. What are your views on signing the no more Fed profit prisons? I think it's a step in the right direction. Linda, to be absolutely 100% clear, transparent with you and everybody else out there, I think the moment that any state or federal agency decided to hire a for-profit company to take over a prison, jail, or any kind of a place where incarcerates individuals is the wrong goddamn thing to do. And I'm sorry for using God's name in vain there, but it really pisses me the hell off. Why anybody ever thought that it would be a good idea to let a for-profit system in. And I've railed against it for years. Corporations, they're not looking out for the individuals who they're incarcerating. They're looking out for profits for their shareholders. And why, it would be cheaper. And they've proven over time, it may be cheaper for the state to actually, have a for-profit system, or a major company or a food company or something like that come in and, take care of it all, everything. What they do is how they make money is they slash the freaking budgets, and what they spend on care and everything else for prisoners. And yeah, it may save the state money, but it makes their stockholders rich. Is that really the type of society that we want to live in, where we're like, what? Why don't we just have McDonald's make start running prisons? We'll feed them, French fries and Big Macs. Well, I'm sure they'll die 20 years earlier, but McDonald's, let's make them in charge. It's stupid. I don't want to live in a society where a corporation is incarcerating anyone. We have too much incarceration in this, in the United States the way it is. We've made a lot of mistakes when it comes to the incarceration rates and how people are treated. But that's just me. Obviously, it's a sorry subject for me, but it is. It's absolute corruption. I mean, I was reading about recently, speaking of one for-profit prison system, I was reading about was it Maricopa County and the Payu or whatever the hell his name is, the sheriff there. Yeah, he had some great ideas. Let's make all the prisoners wear pink. Pink jumpsuits, pink underwear. Let's embarrass them. Let's put them outside where there's no air conditioning in the Arizona summer. Let's make them work off their debt to society. Some of that's good. Some of it's bad. But then when it came to food, just basically feeding them. And how many times in the 5 years prior to, had he run out of food throughout the entire jail system where they didn't have enough food to feed, half of the prisoners. So they're like, well, just cut the portions in half and give everybody half of a portion. And in some places, depending upon where you are in the United States, if the sheriff, is able to save money at the end of the year, if there's money left over, the sheriff gets it. They get that money. If that ain't corruption, there is nothing else out there that is going to, be more corrupt than that. Oh, look, I cut the food budget in half. Everybody ate one thing for 90 days, and I decided to, I'm sure half of them have jaundice now after leave, but that ain't my problem. Oh, look, there's $200,000 left over in the food budget. That's mine. That's corruption. Sad. It's inhumane. Yeah. I mean, you have to, people have to realize that people who go to prison, 70% of all those who go to prison will eventually get out someday, ladies and gentlemen. What happens when you treat someone who maybe they went to prison, maybe they they got sentenced under the three strikes law or something for non-violent offenses. They go to prison. Prison's a violent place. It's not Club Med. I'm not talking about where they put Michael Milken insider trader, but to where they have tennis courts and everybody has yoga practice at 3:00. But state prisons, federal penitentiaries are harsh places. Yeah, and they've stripped everything away from most penitentiaries, state prisons and federal penitentiaries. There's no more education left. It's nothing but incarceration. There is no rehabilitation anymore. And saying that you're sending someone to prison for 10 years because they did something wrong, because you want them to be rehabilitated. There's no classes, nothing left anymore. No education. They can't even get a GED anymore. They've stripped all that away. They've taken away the weights. They've taken away everything. So now it's just locking them in a box and wandering them around. And then you cut away even the simplest pleasures like, nutrition. And then you say to them, all right, we'll see you in 10 years. How is that individual who went to prison for a nonviolent offense, and had to do 10 years in prison? What kind of person do you think they're going to be in 10 years when they get out? You think they're going to be nice? Think about that. And we let these for-profit systems get in, to run these prisons and jails, for a large extent as well. We ain't getting better individuals as a whole. Sure, there might be some who might come out of prison and repentive of what they did wrong and realize that they made mistakes and better their lives and go on to have YouTube channels or something, like 23-and-1 or after prison show. Maybe they're a small outliner compared to the rest of the population who goes to prison. If convicted a crime, the prison you are a slave, lockdown, and hourly wages in prison. Who was I? I was just looking into this morning for someone. Jodi Arias. You know how much Jodi Arias makes an hour? She makes 14 cents an hour. Jodi Arias. 14 cents an hour. I don't think she deserves even that, but well, thank you for the super sticker, Emily. I appreciate that. I hope I didn't miss anybody earlier. I think I did, and if I did, if you sent one, I'm really sorry. Zelda, good morning. I'm going to be going for about another 11 minutes, 10 minutes here, and then I have to get going. Read the 13th Amendment. Linda, I've read the 13th Amendment, and you are absolutely right, though. And the largest here in America, though, the largest slave population, slave labor is prisons. And you'd be surprised what companies are out there, privately held, companies that are traded on the U.S. stock exchange, how they have prisoners making their wares, and then you buy them at Walmart or at, Safeway or wherever. They could be making everything from packaging fruits and vegetables to making furniture, and or sewing clothing, but they're making slave wages if they're making anything at all. There are prisons, ladies and gentlemen, out there right now here in the United States where people will go to work every single day in a prison and they get nothing. They get no pay at all. But the prisoners look at it as, I would rather get no pay than have to sit in a box, all day long and do nothing. They actually sign up to be a slave in these, prison work camps. It's not just out there busting up, rocks anymore along a road on a chain gang to make a new road. Now they got them out there doing all kinds of things. And some of these large corporations, you might be calling because you need tech support. Yeah, you might be calling an actual prison and an inmate who will be answering the phone. You don't know they're a prisoner, but you're calling a tech support place. Oh, I'm having a problem with my Discover card. For some reason, when I went to go use it this afternoon, it's not working. You call that 1-800 number on the back of your Discover card, you might be calling a prisoner. Think about that. And how much you think that prisoner's making per hour, if they're getting anything at all. We export federal prisoners to Colorado from Idaho. It's from Idaho, federal prisoners. There's a real interesting Leah, Erwin, and welcome to the stream. If I missed you earlier, but there is a really interesting system when it comes to prisoner exchange programs and like where a prisoner can go after sentencing. That's how Christopher Watts ended up in Wisconsin versus California or other places. These states, they trade prisoners based on security levels and who's got them there and how much the state of Colorado is paying for Christopher Watt to be incarcerated for the rest of his life versus how much that dollar can go in Wisconsin. It does. It comes down to a lot of times about money. How much money is it going to cost to keep this person imprisoned here versus there? Who's going to pay for this person there? A lot of county jails do that too. They'll take prisoners from 4 or 5 counties away, and incarcerate them, wherever there's room. There might be even room at the county jail where they committed their crime, where they'll see their families, and be able to get legal aid, and counseling or whatever they need. But they'll move them five counties away, so they can that county is enriched by how much the other county is paying because the money goes farther there. But Idaho, as opposed to moving federal prisoners to Colorado, there are very few when it comes to the federal system. That's a completely different story as a ball of chains, I guess, be a nice analogy for it. But the federal prison system, or Club Fed, they have prisoners that are in the U.S. Federal prison system. They call them, they're on, what is it, diesel? There's something like that. They basically, they keep them moving all over the United States. They by bus. They keep them on the ground by bus in the federal prison system, just moving around. They might be here for a month, might be there for a week, might be there for 2 months, but they constantly are moving them around. Hard to track them, especially if you're the attorney for one of these individuals. I can't remember. It was like diesel something. It refers to like the diesel bus. For the annual underground prison van races. I never heard of that one. There's going to have him soup up the prison vans. Emily? Hi. I'm sorry if I missed you, earlier too, Emily. I got about another 5 minutes here, and then I have to wrap this up. Does Emily? Yeah, he's had a job for a while. He's basically mopping up the floors and stuff like that, doing custodial work within his own housing unit. Every inmate in each and every housing unit at Dodge Correction Center must have a job. If they work in the pod or if they work outside the pod, everybody has to have a job, and it's a rotating job. Your job might be this week to clean the tables off in the general gathering area. I know that's where they all sit and eat. That might be your job. This week, next week, you could be the person. They bring all the food in on these giant carts, and then they hand out the meals, the trays. That might be your job the next week. And then the next week after that, it could be, buffing the floors, but every inmate in every single housing unit has to have a job. If they don't work outside of the actual unit itself. Some inmates leave to work in the library, some work in custodial, cleaning other parts of the prison. Others are in charge of landscaping, cutting the grass in the rec yard. It all depends on the security level and everything else. But yes, he has had a job for a while, which is kind of funny because I actually watched a video of his sister who said that he didn't have a job, which was kind of funny because I really wondered just how much in contact she is, with him, because his mom confirmed in the interview and that she had with, was it Lifetime Network that did the first docu bullshit on him? Where they did the first documentary. I wouldn't call it documentary because docu bullshit is what it was. Sorry for my language, but and even in that interview, mom knew back then that he had a job, and then 2 months later, she's like, "No, Chris doesn't have a job yet. He hasn't been declassified or classified to that point yet." It's like, really? Are you that in contact with your brother? Yeah. Never want to go to prison. Thanks, but no thanks. Bye bye, Kimberly. You have a great day, sweetheart. Head chaplain. No, that religious services at Dodge Correction Center to answer those Zelda. I know you're just kidding, but religious services at Dodge Correction Center, along with those who run AA and NA, are done by an outside. I want to say Presbyterian church, but I think it's a Presbyterian church. They have several elder members within the church itself that comes to Dodge, and they rotate within the actual pods to run NAAA and religious services. Now, there are also people who are within the actual prison itself who are in each pod, or maybe each block. I don't know how it's actually broken down or how they do this, but there are people who offer other religious faith services, but the only ones that actually do that is from outside. I mean, they might have little prayer groups and stuff like that, but nope, he is not the head of anything except for the head dork. Remember Stir Crazy they made with Gene Wilder riding bulls? Oh yeah, Gene Wilder and who was the other one? Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor. Yeah, with the you're talking about the clown rodeo. That's a real thing. You should see the justice. It wasn't the Justice Department. I can't remember what federal agency did an actual report on it and how many injuries, like extreme injuries, that some of those inmates have, and they're not getting paid but pennies for what they're doing. I mean, They have this one where they sit them up at a table, and it's like there's 2, 4, 6 clowns or 4 clowns. They're sitting around a table, and they're acting like they're playing card game, like poker, and then they let a bowl in there, and the last one standing, basically alive, is the one that gets paid. But they don't actually kill them, but they get broken bones and everything else. Just, it's horrific, but it's real. Clown rodeo. I think that's in Texas, or maybe Oklahoma or someplace like that. Did I miss Lily? Lily Rose. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. He should be assigned toilet duties for the rest of his life. Yeah, when he was in Dodge, not Dodge, but Weld County, and the inmates were screaming at him how he could kill himself by stuffing his head into the toilet and flushing it over and over again until he drowned himself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to wrap this up here. Hope you all have a wonderful day today, and a safe and happy weekend. Now, I will be back tomorrow, Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and we will be talking about, and it's underneath my camera here, serial killers, trophies. Tomorrow we'll be talking, do a little bit of crime recap, but also we'll be talking about serial killer trophies. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. But in the meantime, thank you everyone for stopping by today. And for those, if I missed you, I'm sorry. I think I really did miss one of the super chats, and I'm really sorry about that. But I really do appreciate each and every one of you being here today and hanging out with me. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, I guess. I'm not going to ask anybody to subscribe ever again, but thank you again. I appreciate it. And you all have a great weekend.